What's the hardest part of writing an essay? Well, for a lot of students, it's that very first sentence, the one that grabs your reader's attention and sets the whole tone. It's called the hook, and it can be the difference between an average essay and an A-star essay. But before we dive in, I have something mind-boggling for you. At the very end of this video, I'm going to tell you something completely opposite of what most people believe about writing your hook. Trust me, it might just change the way you write forever. So stay tuned. Let's start with the basics. What is a hook? Picture this. You're fishing, you throw the hook into the water and bam, it catches a fish. Well, a hook in writing does the same thing. It catches your reader's attention right from the very start. It is the first sentence or first couple of sentences of your essay. And if you do it right, your reader will be hooked and eager to read more. So why is hook important? Because first impressions always matter. In fact, studies show that people form an impression within 7 seconds of meeting someone or reading something new. That means your hook has just a few seconds to grab your reader's attention before they decide whether to keep reading or not. And here's another fact. According to a study by the Nielsen-Norman Group, users only read about 20% of the text on a web page, which means if your hook isn't strong, they might not even get interested to pass the first couple of lines. Okay, now let's dive into the fun part, the types of hooks. There's no one size fits all when it comes to hooks, and I've got 6 types that will help you make your essay pop. Let's go through them one by one. Number 1, question hook. This one's all about getting your reader to think. But don't just ask a simple question like, do you like pizza? Instead, ask something that makes them stop and think, wow, that's interesting. Let's say we are writing an essay on the role of technology in everyday life. How can we craft a compelling hook for it? Bad example, do you think technology is bad? That's too vague. Let's make it better. Better example, what if you woke up tomorrow with no internet? How would your day change? Could you survive without social media, online shopping, or even Google? Now we are talking. And why it works? It makes your reader pause, think, and want to know more. And it naturally leads into your topic too. Number 2, imaginary scenario hook. This one invites your reader into an alternate world with a what if or imagine type of situation. Let's see what works in this case and what doesn't. Suppose we want to explore the importance of schooling in an essay. What kind of imaginary scenario could we use to hook the reader? Bad example, imagine you don't have to go to school tomorrow. Too simple, right? It doesn't really spark curiosity or create a vivid picture in the reader's mind. Let's spice it up. Better example, imagine waking up tomorrow to find that schools no longer exist. No teachers, no homework, no exams. Just endless free time. Sounds like a dream, but what if this meant no one ever learned new skills? Doctors never got trained and society slowly collapsed. Now that's engaging. And why it works? It lets your reader visualize something intriguing and forces them to think beyond the obvious. The contrast between the dream and the consequence makes it even more compelling. Number 3, quote hook. Remember, the quote hook can add some serious weight to your essay. A great quote can get your reader thinking right away. If we were discussing the impact of technology on human interaction, what kind of quote could effectively introduce our topic? Bad example, Albert Einstein once said something about technology. What does that even mean? Let's make it impactful. Better example, Albert Einstein once said, I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Boom. That's a quote with impact. And why it works? A strong quote adds authority to your essay. And when you link it to your topic, it builds credibility. Number 4, fact or research-based hook. This one's great for when you have got a shocking fact that makes your reader sit up and take notice. Now imagine we are writing about the effects of screen time on mental health. What kind of statistic could grab the reader's attention right away? People check their phones a lot. Nope. Too vague. Let's get more specific. Better example? A study by the University of California found that the average person checks their phone 344 times per day. That's once every 4 minutes. Now we are talking. This fact grabs attention. And why it works? It adds credibility and sparks curiosity, making your reader want to know more. Number 5. Metaphor hook. A metaphor hook is a creative way to compare two things that seem totally different, but if you do it right, it makes your point stand out. Let's think about an essay. On the first day in the new school, how could we use a metaphor to introduce the topic? Bad example: starting a new school is like walking into a room. That's just unimpressive. Let's try this. Starting a new school is like stepping onto a roller coaster. You never know if the next turn will be thrilling or terrifying. Now that's more like it. And why it works? It helps your reader visualize and connect with your topic in a fresh, creative way. Number 6. Unexpected statement hook. Finally, we have the unexpected statement hook. This one is perfect for challenging your reader's assumptions. When writing about an essay on success and failure, how can we start with an unexpected statement that grabs attention? Bad example: failure is bad. That's too basic. Let's spice it up. Most people believe that failure is a bad thing. But what if failure is actually the key to success? Now we have got a hook that makes your reader think. And why it works? It challenges assumptions and makes the reader want to read on for the answer. Alright, you made it to the very end. So here's the surprising truth I promised you at the very beginning. Even though your hook is the first thing in your essay, it should be the last thing you write. Yes, you heard that right. Here's why. You can't write an engaging hook unless you truly understand your essay's message. And guess what? You won't fully understand your essay until you have written the body and the conclusion. Here's the secret. Most students discover the perfect hook while writing the body of their essay. You start to figure out what your essay is really about as you go along. Let me show you why this works. Imagine you are writing an essay about social media's impact on mental health. At the beginning, you might think your essay is just about how social media is everywhere. So you start with something like this. Social media is a big part of our daily lives. Not bad, but pretty basic. But as you write your body paragraphs, you realize your essay actually focuses on how social media creates unrealistic expectations, leading to anxiety and self-doubt. Now with that clearer focus, you can write a much stronger hook, like imagine waking up in a world where everyone's life looks perfect, except yours. Welcome to social media. See the difference? That second hook is way more engaging because it actually connects to the real message of the essay. But you wouldn't have discovered it unless you waited until the end. So when's the best time to write your essay? When you have written your conclusion. That's right. It sounds a bit backward, but once you have finished your body and conclusion, you'll now have a much clearer idea of the direction of your essay. And this makes your introduction and conclusion feel connected. It's like completing a circle, and we all love a full circle moment, don't we? So don't stress about the hook at the very start. Focus on getting the body and conclusion down first. When you come back to your introduction, you'll have a much stronger hook. Now let's test your knowledge. I'm going to show you some examples and you tell me which type of hook it is. Millions of people struggle with social anxiety every day. By 2050, 68% of the world's population will live in urban areas. What do successful people have in common? Public speaking is the #1 fear, more than death itself. Friendship is like a plant. It needs care to grow. Once Stephen King said, books are a uniquely portable magic. Great job everyone. You have just practiced identifying different types of hooks. The answers are in the description. Now go ahead and try writing a few hooks of your own for your next essay. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends and families. See you next time, and happy writing.